don't really need this, so I can actually remove this. This column I don't need because why? Over here in column number 16, I already have the factory name. So basically I don't need this. So this one I can delete. So let me just delete. Let me just check. Okay, so all these I don't want. This one also I don't want. I can just remove. I can delete it. These two columns I don't need it. I can delete. And this column also I don't need because if you see here, it all contains the null only. So I don't really need it. And I can just remove. Well, we have January, February until December. I don't really need the total because we have the monthly data. I don't need this and I can just delete. So right now what happened is I remove the unnecessary columns. Next, what I want is I actually want to capture the region, the country, the city and shop. Basically what I want is I want a dedicated column to show that this is the region is Europe. I want a dedicated column that shows that the country is United Kingdom. So what I'll do is I will just try to go to conditional column. Where is conditional column? It is located under add column, conditional column. Click it over here. A box will appear. What column is this? Column number 15. Okay, so I'm going to choose column number 15 equals region. This is a very case specific. Make sure it is capital R, because if just say the different case like uppercase, lowercase, it will not able to capture the data. So if just see the word contain region, I want it to show the column number 16. So select a column and choose column number 16. And otherwise it appear null. So null means then later I can fill down. I'm going to press OK. So over here we have Europe. I need to do one more time to capture United Kingdom. So United Kingdom is country. So conditional column again. I'm going to choose here column number 15 equals to country. Make sure the spelling is correct, the case is correct, and column number. So select a column, column number 16, and I'm going to choose here column 16. Otherwise it is null. Okay, so there you go. So I'm done with this. And then we need to do two more for city and also shop. So conditional column. So I need to make sure that column 15 has the name of city equals to city and ABC 1 2 3. I'm going to choose select a column and I want to choose here column number 16. So column number 16 and equals to none. Make sure the null all small letters, because if you show all big letters later it's not possible to fill down. So I'm going to press OK. So here we have Europe, United Kingdom, here we have London, and then we need one more which is the shop name. So conditional column and column number 15 and then equals, so this one I put here capital S, shop, and then ABC 1 2 3, select a column and I choose column number 16 and over here will be null. Alright, so now we have the region, the country, the city and also the shop. So what I'll do is I'll select all this and then right click and fill down. So right now we do have like a dedicated column for region, for country, and also we have a dedicated column for the city, and also we have a dedicated column for the shop. Okay, but next thing is what I want to actually capture is, if you see here carefully, we do have sales, but apparently here the sales is null. Basically the sub item is item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4, and over here if you notice carefully, item 5, item 6. So basically what I want to capture is I want to capture the sales, the cost of sales in one group, because what you see here is the sub item. This is the group item. So the same thing also, I want to capture the overhead. Like for example here we have overhead 1, overhead 2, overhead 3, and then of course I also want to capture the net profit. Okay, so how I'm going to do this is, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the add conditional column again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here conditional column. So this is column number 3. So select column number 3, and but the thing is, if you notice, I want to capture column number 3. So what I'll do is I'll do a trick whereby I'll choose column number 4. Column number 4 equals to null. So here we do have a null, and then what happens is if JC is equivalent to null, I want it to capture column number 3. So I'm going to select here column number 3, and then after that it is equals to null, and then I press OK. So once I press OK, what I'll do next is I'm just like the same thing, fill down. I can right click here and I can fill down, or what you can do is maybe I'll just remove this. Okay, we can break, it's okay to break. So here what I'll do is I'll just select this column up to the last column, right click and fill down. Okay, so right now here we have region, country, city, shop name, and also the group name. Then what I'll do is I'll right click and I will move. So move to the beginning. So over here, what happened is we have a dedicated column for region, dedicated column for country, city, shop, and then the group item. Like for example, this is sales. Then we have cost of sales. Then we do have, like for example, overhead, and then we also have net profit. So basically, I don't really need this total overhead and so on. So what we can do is we can filter. But before I filter, I just want to make sure that I want to remove the 1 until the first row until the 7th row, because I want to promote the January as the header. So what I'll do is I'll go to home, remove row, remove top row. How many rows I want to remove? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. As you can see here, the first 7 rows I want to remove. Why I want to remove the first 7 row? Because the 8th row we have the details like January. If you see here carefully, we do have the word January on the row number 8. So the first 7 rows I want to remove. How to remove the first 7 row? You go to remove row, you remove top row, and you click 7 rows. And then you press OK. Just like that, the first 7 rows will be removed. Then what you need to do is you need to promote the first row as the header. So I'm going to use first row as header. There you go. Okay, done. So now the thing is, since we are done with this, what I want to do next is, here we already captured the net profit. I don't want this null all, because this null seems unnecessary, and I don't want the account code, and I don't want the null. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually before I unselect the null, make sure I want to retain like the net profit and so on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to filter over here. So here I don't want the total sales, I don't want total overhead, I don't want total cost of sales, and I'm going to press OK. So now it looks better because we do have the sales item, cost of sale, gross profit, and yep, it looks better. And then maybe I can just remove the null. So over here, so I'll just remove out the null. So unselect the null, and let me just check. So need to check a clarity. So make sure here we have sales, cost of sales. Cost of sales I don't need, sales I don't need, cost of sales I don't need, gross profit I need. So basically the sales, cost of sale, and null I don't need. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to unselect the cost of sale, unselect null, and also unselect sales, unselect shop 001, because if you see here carefully, the shop 001 content is code, so I don't need that. So what I don't want is I don't want the sales, I don't want the cost of sales because here got null, and I don't want the, for example, I don't want this shop code and so on, and also I don't want null because the null is not necessary. So I'm going to click this, unselect the cost of sales, unselect the null, and I unselect the sales, unselect shop 001, and I'm going to press OK. So now it looks better. So now it looks better over here. So what you'll see is, you look here, we do have like all the region, this is the second shop and so on. Okay, so now it looks better. Okay, we looks better and so on. And apparently what we can do is, basically maybe we don't want the overhead and overhead. We want the net profit, but we don't want overhead 1, overhead 2, and so on. The net profit we want. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'll still unselect overhead 1, overhead 2, overhead 3, because here we have overhead already. Because if you look here carefully, like here we have sales, cost of sales, gross profit, overhead 1, 2, 3, and then we have net profit. So basically it looks better. And yep, here we do have the cost element, the account code. What I want to do next is I want to actually unpivot the column. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September until December. What I want to do is go to transform and unpivot. You can unpivot like this, or you can also right click and unpivot as well. So unpivot columns. So what happened is, now we have all the months like January up to December in one particular column. And what I want to do next is I want to split this column. Basically I want to split with the dash sign. So split column, delimiter, and I want to split by a dash sign. So custom, and I put a dash over here, and I press OK. So right now what happens is, we do have like the cost element, cost center thing. So here I'll put this as region. Over here is the country. This is the city. This is the company or the shop code. And here is the shop name. This will be the group item. So I'll just put here accounting group. item. So this will be the account item. So this account code, maybe let it put it, you can actually put as a number, no issue. But it's just that the problem over here will have null, but it's okay because as you can see for net profit, it will show null because for net profit, they don't have a proper code number. When I drag down, of course they don't have, but it's okay. It doesn't really matter because I'm not going to use this account code in my data that much. And we have the months and we also have the values. So over here, I'm going to put here months. And over here, I'll just put it as maybe the value, but it's okay to be value. It's just that I want to format as a proper decimal number. So decimal number, and there you go. So now we have already compiled the data and we have already performed data cleaning. So now what I do is I go to home and close and load. By pressing close and load, eventually you will notice that all the information will be loaded in the Excel file. Interestingly, if you know Power Query, you can also do the same practice in Power BI. So if you notice carefully, we have actually compiled 300 plus files and now it is located, it has been formed in 137,000 rows. And not only that, this one I load as a table. You can actually choose to load to, if you click here, you can actually choose to load to whether you want to load as pivot table, pivot chart, or only create connection. So in the next video, I will teach you how we will do data analysis, building a dashboard based on this given data.